Hello, I'm Pam of Healing Stars, and this is the week ahead. Started last night actually, I'm a little bit late because I've been away. 7th of July, this is this morning at midnight. And what's going on in the sky this week? Well, the moon, first of all, is in Scorpio, and it's going to move through the sign of Scorpio. It takes about 2.5 days to go through a sign. It goes through Scorpio here in the turquoise sector. It will then go through Sagittarius, following 2.5 days, leading up to the full moon when it's in Capricorn, opposite the sun in Cancer. By next Sunday, it will be just going into Aquarius. So the Scorpio energy is, of course, where Saturn is. Every month, the moon will join Saturn. That's how it happens, wherever Saturn is in the sky, because the moon moves so fast. It goes through every sign in a month. Saturn is the planet of commitment, and it has a negative press because it's also how we can be held back, what can block us. At the moment, Saturn in Scorpio, and it's quite long lasting, but it's with Chiron, the wounded healer. And notice here Saturn at 16 degrees of Scorpio, Chiron at 17 of Pisces, and it's forming a triangular relationship with the Sun here at 14 of Cancer. And that, in 2 days' time, will be exact. That's Wednesday. This is a very auspicious time, Wednesday. However, all things considered, I've just given a good day for somebody to launch a website, and that happens to be tomorrow, Tuesday, because I'm taking into account all other factors. Last weekend, the Sun was opposite Pluto. Here it is, 12 degrees Pluto, 14 of Cancer, and that is transformation. However, transformation is a process. It's not something that happens immediately, just like the caterpillar has to melt down into the cocoon before it emerges as a butterfly. The Sun this week is quite active. It always is, but this week especially, because what it's doing, it's picking up the theme of the April Grand Cross, which is all about change. And the ego does not like change. It wants us to stay stuck. I've said this before, I'm saying it again. The Sun itself is going to always bring consciousness and light to whatever it connects with. And this week, it started off on the weekend opposite Pluto. It will move to connect this Tuesday. You see 15 degrees. By Wednesday, it's at a right angle to Uranus, which is the planet of change and shock and things that have to be done quickly. And that is a one-day transit of the Sun. However, it can be a good thing if you use it well. The other thing happening this week, and there's lots of things going on always, but what's happening is Mercury is still in Gemini all week. It will change just after the full moon. It will change next Sunday the 13th into Cancer once more. And it was, I say once more because it was there earlier on this year on the 29th of May. So it's a revisiting, and Cancer's all about emotions, of course. And that's where the Sun is. That's where Jupiter is. For the moment, Jupiter is right at the end of the sign of Cancer. Notice here on Wednesday, a lovely trine of Jupiter to the moon in Scorpio. That's a beautiful thing. It happens, you can see, about midnight. The moon is visible. The moon has just started her movement towards being full, so she's very strong in the sky at this time. Always the first 2 weeks from the new moon to the full moon is a good time to start things because the moon is gaining in strength. And the more visible the moon is the public, the more we can connect with our feelings. And we look always to what's the relationship of the moon and the Sun. So because the Sun's in Cancer, to do with family, to do with feelings, the moon is also resonating in that way. Wednesday, the Sun will trine, as I said, it will trine Saturn, a positive thing, and at the same time it's trining Chiron. So Wednesday is a very auspicious day for healing. Healing old wounds. Chiron is the wounded healer after all, but it's also the rainbow bridge that connects the old and the new. And Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. It's about oneness, that we are really, there's only one of us here, if you understand that belief. It can be overwhelming, Pisces, but also very gentle and very graceful healing. I ask you to consider that on Wednesday this week. It is a very auspicious day for healing. By Thursday we have the Mars energy. Mars is now moving forward through Libra. At last, I keep saying that, at last. But on Thursday, it's making a difficult aspect to Neptune. Now, Neptune is in Pisces, it's where it belongs, it's the ocean of sadness. In one metaphor, it brings us up to a high level, but Mars can be aggressive and can be awkward. The relationship is called a it's sesquiquadrate. There's two awkward aspects in astrology, and that's one of them. Because Libra and Pisces aren't signs that naturally get along. One's air, one's water. Think about that. You can get, air, water can be a fog, can't it? Always think of the elements. So that could be a tricky day, Thursday, to be aware of that, to be aware you might feel upset for no apparent reason or overly sensitive. Mars is aggression after all. Friday comes along. On Friday, we have Mercury making what is known, you can't see on this chart, but it's actually making a quintile. Now, a quintile to Uranus. Mercury is the messenger. Here it is, down here at 28 degrees of Gemini. It will be opposite. Notice that the moon is now in Sagittarius. It will be opposite that moon on Friday. But a quintile is a very creative aspect. It's the division of the circle, the sacred circle, by 5, which you think about 5, it's the number of the human fingers, digits, isn't it? Number of the feet. 5 is our 2 arms, 2 legs, a head. 5 is Venus's number. And to divide the circle, 360 degrees, by 5, it's 72 degrees. And what that means is Friday promises to be highly creative with communication, that's Mercury, Uranus, invention, innovation. If you are in the creative field, and that can be about any kind of creativity at all, that's an incredibly good day to tune into this energy. I have, of course, set this chart for midnight, so it is wherever you are in the world. Things move forward, of course, by the course of the day. But notice that's the energy of that day. Saturday, the full moon. The moon at midnight is with Pluto. Again, the moon does that once a month. It joins up with each and every planet. It's going round the circle, connecting each planetary energy. And opposite the sun, we're really looking at Capricorn and Cancer energetically. Capricorn is to do with the father, the parent, the authority. It's our responsibility, taking authorship of our life. The sun in Cancer is the child. Cancer is the baby. Cancer is also to do with mother energy, nurturing. So you could say child versus parent. You could also say family versus career or job out in the world. So the priorities at the full moon are to saying, take care of yourself. Unless we take care of ourselves, we cannot take care of others. It's just like they say on an aeroplane, you need to put the oxygen mask on first before you attend to your child. Because if you don't, you could die. Your child can't survive without you. The Grand Cross is also operating at this full moon. If I just move that chart forward a little bit, if I can do that, while I'm doing this, I'll just move it forward, because the time is, the full moon is actually 12:24, and that's British summer time. I'm recording this in the UK. Just see how a chart moves forward. It's quite fun to watch that kind of action. So that's 12 o'clock. That's midday. So what you can see here is the red line connecting the moon here to the sun, And that red line is also, this is an opposition. Here's Mars opposite Uranus at the full moon. It's gone past, but because it's a full moon, it brings it out into the energy. This is saying, again, change. Balancing the masculine. The masculine is very much the Aries energy, Mars's energy, with the feminine, that's Libra, governed actually by Venus. Venus and Mercury are together in Gemini. Mercury, as I said earlier, is about to change sign. So this is communication. Communication is a very strong theme of the week, to listen to what you're being told, what emails you receive, connecting to the divine. That's the Neptune energy. The divine is higher energy, transcendence, and that's what Chiron is talking about, along with Neptune itself. Once we move into that area, we can be a channel for grace. The other thing to appreciate, with Mars's energy, Mars is still in the pacifist sign of Libra, can be passive aggressive, is what do you feel? Do you feel anger, or do you feel fear? Now, anger is very masculine, fear can be feminine, fear can be the victim. So to transcend and move past that is an opportunity. So think back in April, what was going on for you in April at the time of the Grand Cross? That was around the 22nd of the month. That's the signature of the first 6 months of the year. So it's been reinforced this week. The final day, which is Sunday, of course. The chart now is set for midday. And here we see Mercury moved into the sign of Cancer. The Sun also still in Cancer, 20 degrees. But look at Jupiter. Next week, Jupiter changes sign on the 16th of July. And that is a big event. That's a once a year event. I'm going to be doing a webinar on Jupiter in Leo. It's a free webinar. Please sign up at my website. That's healingstars.com. And I'll be advertising that this week to get you all on board to listen more and find out what that's going to mean for you. Because it's a big shift of Jupiter from the water sign of Cancer into the fiery sign of Leo. It promises to be extremely creative year if you seize the moment. That's Jupiter's saying. Thank you for listening. As I said, sign up on my website and you can find out all about Jupiter